Welcome back to my box fan build. After my dim light bulb has been flickering for a week on these lower cabinets, I think I finally have it pretty much figured out. I just gave up 46 bucks for a sheet of ACX because everything else was that weird yellow wood, and this is going to match everything that I've built my van with so far. And I'm hoping to be able to do the lower cabinet for the kitchen and the rear bulkhead with this. I think that'll be enough. This over here is just some 3/8 BCX, and that's what I'm going to build the drawers with. First thing I'm going to do is go pull that other sheet of plywood off my cabinet and then cut the outer shape onto this with it, and then start building the framework for the tracks. I bought 2 sets of full extension soft close door tracks. I went with 18-inch. I could have gone a little bit longer, but this is about as excessive as I need it to be. The drawers really can't be much more deep than about 20-inch, and if I have them extended that far out, it's, you know, I wouldn't fit in the van, you know what I mean? These are like full ball bearing roller tracks, 100-pound capacity. I mean, this is the good stuff right here. I've pretty much figured out how to make the front of the drawers look good and have a clean appearance. And the 2 drawers, because I'm doing 2 drawers and 2 doors, the drawers are actually going to be different heights. One of them is going to be a lot deeper. The other one's going to be a little less deep, but still pretty deep, because the sink I have to clear. So I'll just start by violently ripping this guy off of here. I just brad nailed it on for, you know, to show you in the last video. So there we go. Here's a tip. If you're gonna take like a freaking year to build your van like I am, buy all your lumber like up front, because everything was fine, and then one day I went to the store and, you know, supply chains and economic whatevers, and you know, when they cut down all the trees that look the same, suddenly you're kind of in a pinch if you're trying to, or just paint everything, you know, there's that. The ACX is nice. What I'm gonna do is I'm keeping these doors the same, and the lower bottom of the drawers is gonna be the same, but the tops of the drawers is going to be different. They're going to be higher up. Because I did spend a lot of time like tracing this out. I centered it just right and got my gaps between where I wanted them. But I wanted bigger drawers, basically. So. And I gotta not screw up this new sheet when I cut it, because it like ripped out right there. So I'm just gonna be a little more careful. The BCX is like 37 bucks a sheet, or like 36 something. So it's a $10 difference. It's not, you know, not that huge of a deal, but you know, it probably looks like it's the same on camera, but it's not, trust me. It's way different. And with any luck, this piece here will be big enough to make my rear bulkhead with. I'm talking about the underneath the bed, the partition between the garage and the living area. because that's going to be walled off and insulated. I just broke one of my own rules. Let me know in the comments if you can guess what it was. Do it fit? It needs a little massaging. Got the height right. We just got it right there and right there. Basically just this corner. Okay. Coming out. Now when you buy really expensive plywood and you need to make adjustments to it, it's important to be delicate and use the correct tool for the job, you know? Yep, that'll do. The thing that I'm doing wrong here, the rule that I'm breaking, is actually going to be somewhat beneficial for this step. Where's my pencil? It's in my pocket. Okay. Have you figured it out yet? It's something that I even mentioned once before. So, on the other piece of wood, it did drive me nuts that this here would be different than these. Because I am planning on making these bottom doors and this tilt-out bin for canned goods and stuff the same style as the upper cabinet doors, where it's a border and then, you know, wall color in the middle. And then the upper drawers and trim and everything is going to be different. We'll get to that in a minute. But here I'd like to maximize the size of the drawer, but I still want the opening to match these. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. First I need to get to line this bottom up with this bottom here, and then I will have to modify the inside of the cabinet so it can hinge properly. Okay. Same with the top. So now for this cut, I'm no longer breaking the rule. I mean, I'm breaking lots of other rules, but not the one that I had mentioned earlier. On a circular saw, if you look at it, it spins this direction, and that's how the teeth cut, like that. So whenever you're cutting a sheet of wood, you always want to cut from the back, because if you cut from the front, you risk your finish ply, your outer layer, you risk that chipping. So when I traced my old piece onto the new piece, I did it from the front, and I cut it from the front. But I traced this from the back. And cut it from the back. And the way I messed up my last one, and it chipped out, is as I was doing this step right here, which I believe I used the jigsaw, not my Leatherman, but I didn't have the centerpiece supported by a table saw or a sawhorse. So when I had just one corner left to cut, it fell through and took a piece of the front finished ply with it. And that's why I said my mistake would be beneficial for those. So the main difference between what I was doing and what I am now doing is the drawer height. They're still going to be the same width, and there's still going to be 2 drawers, but I'm going to maximize the height of them. So what I'm going to do is measure from the floor up to the bottom of the sink drain to give me my maximum height for the right drawer. So that's 28. And then the left drawer can go all the way up to here. And it will. So that's going to be 32. And actually, we'll do 31.5, just so I have a little bit to work with between the stove opening and the top of the drawer. And so I have a plan to hide this, completely hide that, and hide the fact that the drawers are different heights. I don't know if it's a good plan, but I think it is, and you know, we'll see. And I should be able to get all of my kitchen stuff in these 2 drawers, and then the cabinet up above. That is the idea. Yeah, you see how deep, how tall this drawer is now? And then we added probably 1.5 inches to this one. So we're coming right up to the sink drain here. And here we're pretty much coming up, you know, pretty dang close to the opening for the stove. And I'm gonna go remeasure so I don't screw this up, and then I'm cutting these out. Look, I screwed it up. I almost robbed myself of a whole inch. Yep. My next step is to build framework for all the drawer tracks, which I'm just gonna have to kind of figure out as I go. I'm gonna make some progress and then kind of show you what I'm doing. But these tracks are pretty sweet. They do detach, so I can pull the drawer all the way out. But they got this really cool mechanism on them. When you go to close it, it hooks this little thing here. And then the spring pulls it shut. It's pretty unique. And they got these roller bearings on it here. And it's a pretty robust, like, well-built track. And there's no play, like, up and down whatsoever. So I think these will ride nice and quiet. I got 18-inch length, which is pretty deep. And, you know, I'll be running into things like the vent hose for my water tank. But I can work around that. That's no big deal. For the middle pieces, I'm going to have to make vertical supports. One in the front right here behind this like mullion between the drawers and doors. And then another one just in front of the water pump that runs up from the floor and then has a horizontal cross support right below the drawers, because I can't really go any higher because it'll run into the drawers themselves. But I could have gone shorter or I could have gone longer, but I picked 18 because when you open it up all the way, you're going to have about that much drawer sticking out, which, I mean, you go any further, I mean, this is a small van, but that'll give me plenty of, it'll basically use as much of this cabinet as I possibly can back here. Because, I mean, at this point, if I want, I could go like maybe 2 more inches before I'm banging into, like, you know, the outlet back here and the water lines and everything else. And it'll pretty much, this is, I don't know, I picked this size and this is what I'm doing. But with it open all like 18 inches out, I mean, that's going to give me full access to everything in the drawer. Because you can build your drawers deeper than your track. That's no big deal, but the drawer won't open all the way, you know. So I am going to just build the drawer 18 inches deep, but... So I have 4 tracks, you know, 2 in the middle, like that, and then 1 on each side. And for the sides, I just need to basically build frames that, or build supports that come out from these sides to the level of this opening. And then for this middle support, just gonna have a vertical board going from this lower 2x4 to this top one. And I gotta make the width the same as the mullion on the front of the cabinets. So I can start with that and then build side supports on either side. Over here, there's nothing in the way except for the cold water inlet to my water filters, which all I need to do for that, because I have to build I have to build the side supports out here where the opening is. So all I have to do is I don't have to move any of these things. I just have to build woodwork to like stand off of these sides, and then I can have a board that goes in front of these things. You know what I mean? So the track can sit clear out here and just be in front of the plumbing, and it won't touch it at all. The tracks, they don't have to fully sit against a piece of wood the entire length of the track, and I definitely can't really do that in the middle. I can, but I don't have to. I just have to have a good support, like right here, for example, like that screw hole. So as long as the track is fully supported in the front and back, you know, it can kind of free float in there, which is sort of the plan. But for the backs, I definitely need a vertical support running down to the floor. If I tried to do just a horizontal board in the back to tie into whatever board I put down the middle, over time from the weight and the bumping around on the road, it can, you know, it'll start to sag or fall down. So that's what I'll be working on now. I'm just going to show you when I have some progress made, because it's just going to be a whole lot of me scratching my head, but I'll explain what I did and why I did it. Okay, so I basically just built around everything. See, there's the vent for the water tank, and then there's the plumbing for the water filter. And what I did is I made 2 vertical supports in the middle, and I ripped 2x4s down to the width of the mullion, and then I braced it right where the tracks is, and then I was able to fit one up here by the sink. I screwed it into the floor, made little feet there, and then I cross braced it left to right ways from over here, and then in from the right side of the cabinet over here. And for these sides, I just had to stub it out to the opening, so we have a combination of things, basically just using up my lumber. But that's 1/2-inch plywood and then 2x4 behind it on either side, and then everything is glued and screwed, and then I measured and leveled the tracks, because the van is level one way, so I was able to do that. Then I just measured left to right ways to make sure the opening, the distance between, was the same in the front and the back. So the tracks are installed in the cabinet. Now I'm going to put the front on, I think permanently. I do need to build some stuff down there, but I think I can go ahead and just install that. And then I got to build some drawer boxes, which shouldn't be too complicated. So the plan is to screw this on, but I kind of don't want to, because this plywood's so nice, you know. And I know what can happen. It can blast the outer ply and splinter it and stuff, you know. Look at that. Totally functional. This is gonna be good. Kind of got the hardest part done now. I mean, I just got to build drawer boxes, which, you know, definitely less complicated than this part. You know? Not too bad. Just got to measure my width between the tracks and then my heights, and then build boxes. And I'm gonna make them 18 inches deep because that'll fit. Just barely gonna clear this plug for my induction stove, which is, I read all your comments and thank you for all the advice. I appreciate that. There were some really good ideas, and I am gonna get that, I'm gonna say this, totally pronounce this wrong, but I'm gonna get that rattan or whatever it's called for the bottom doors. It reminds me of the stuff that like old-timey chairs are made with, like old picnic chairs or something. But yeah, that's a great idea for down here. I'll probably paint it the green that everyone hates, except for that one person. Thank you for agreeing with me that green is a beautiful color. It doesn't show up on camera the way it looks in real life. It's just, I can't do anything about that. But next step is to build some drawer boxes. We're getting there. Cabinets are almost done. So now that I'm cutting the cheaper plywood that won't be visible from the outside, I'll do it the right way and cut it from the back. We'll just put this one in the back, you know. I like that idea. Wow. This is terrible. So in an effort to overcomplicate this somehow, what I'm gonna do, because a lot of the drawers that I've seen, the bottom is like a thin, crappy, like that handy panel or like a masonite or something. And what they do is they'll have like a groove cut into the sides, and then the bottom kind of like sits in that groove, you know? And I think that sucks, so I'm making the bottom out of 3/8 plywood to make it stronger. But since it is just 3/8 plywood, gluing and nailing it together wouldn't be the best. So what I'm gonna do is the bottom's actually gonna be raised up a little, and then underneath here, I'm gonna take thin strips of like 1x pine and have a little border underneath. And that's what'll tie the sides and the bottom all together, you know? So, kind of like, I don't know if you're able to see this on camera, but basically, like that, the bottom's gonna be a little bit higher than the rest of the drawer. So all I'm gonna do is take some measurements and go cut some tiny little, like 1-inch strips of 1x, and then glue and nail it all together. And that should give it, you know, lots of strength. But the bottom, you want the bottom to be supported good, you know. Especially if I'm putting all my kitchen stuff in here. It's not going to be that heavy, but, you know, heavy enough. And the inside of the drawer, I'm carpeting it, you know, just for noise and to, you know, just protect all my stuff, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna take some measurements, cut that, and then we'll glue and nail all these together. And then I'll be able to, you know, once the glue dries, get them mounted in the van, see if they even fit and function. I really wish I had a belt sander, like a benchtop belt sander, because when I cut plywood like this, especially when I use El Cheapo, it's not a perfect edge. And I thought about cutting these like 1/8 of an inch bigger and then just running them through the table saw. But if I just had a belt sander that I could just set them on there and give them a quick, because trying to do this with the regular like oscillating palm sander takes forever. But I'm not gonna buy one. I'm, you know, going to be a nomad and, you know, not investing in any more tools than I have to. All right, I cut a bunch of these little strips of 1x that were already this size. I just grabbed what I had laying around from some other part of the van and, you know, made them work. So the idea is, this is the floor, the bottom of the drawer. And I'm gonna glue and assemble this part and then put the sides on. And I'm running out of wood glue again. And it's Sunday evening, it's about to storm. I want to build these drawers, get these done this weekend so I can, you know, tomorrow after work I'll come and start working on the face of the cabinet. God, I hope I have enough glue to build these 2 drawers. Definitely gonna have to buy more. YouTube drama. I gotta build these drawers or I'm gonna lose the shop. We have a special guest with us today. This is Mr. Staples, you know, Brad's cousin. Oh geez, oh geez. Just knock the other side off. This thing's a piece of, that's why I never use it. I think you're supposed to just put like 170 million staples in things when you build them. That's how every piece of furniture I've ever ripped apart looks like. Okay, now put sides on it. If I run out of glue and can't put these two drawers together, I'm gonna be cutting to the next scene, which will be tomorrow after work. After another trip to Menards. Do I put the ugly side in? Yeah, because I'm gonna cover that with carpet. And I put the ugly side up. I guess that's fine. Sure. Sure. Why not? They're a little long, you know. Just a smidge. Making drawers. Why does this one seem like too long? Oh, too late. I think I'm running out. Running out of staples. I have more. I got more. Got a whole box of them. Yep, these are, ugh. I will make this the front. And I will use the not totally warped piece on the front. The back's just a back, you know, it's fine. Oh no. One more bottle of wood glue. I should be done with this van. It takes 3 bottles of wood glue to build a van. For the record. Is that the warpy one? Yeah, okay. Which side's less ugly? I don't know. Now I gotta try to see. I was gonna put little pieces of wood in the corners, and then I decided to just grab Mr. Staples and, you know, attempt to not go through all, you know, have them poke out the sides and shit. So, nice. Heck yeah. I'm enjoying myself, to be honest. Haha, sweet. All right, one more piece. We got one drawer. And then if we're lucky enough to not run out of wood glue, we're about to have 2 drawers. And then I'll figure out that they don't fit. And then the next scene will be Monday afternoon. I hate these clips where I'm using a power nailer or something. Because editing the audio is a frickin' pain in the butt. I have to, especially when I talk between nailing, because I adjust all the volume so it's not like horrendously loud on your ears. Not a lot of YouTubers do that for you. Look at that. We have one drawer. Very nice. I like it. Now we make the tall one. I'll just do it the same way. Try not to run out of glue. Why are these too long? These are too long. What happened? What happened? All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Put these together like that. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing, but I have to trim my little pieces because I didn't cut them right somehow. And these are too long too. What the heck was, am I even using the right piece? Yeah. Well, measure once, cut 3 times. And then, come on, get on. Yeah, these are all way off. I'll be right back. And we're back. And you're over here now. It's funny when they put like biscuits and scraps of wood in the finished ply. But that's stain grade. Right. Okay, these should fit now. Yes. That'll do. That's better. Did I staple it to the plywood? Damn. I did. I need to adjust on that though, because it's not quite where it needs to be. There. It only took one whack to get it right. Oh no, we're running out of glue. Gotta water it down. You know when you run out of shampoo and then you water it down and you're like, I gotta buy more, and then you never buy more because you keep forgetting. Wow, who cut that piece? Fired. Oh wait. Come on. Come on. There we go. No. We're so close. So close. Come on. God. It's like when you go to a diner and they got them glass ketchup bottles. Come on! Get out of there! Oh God. I have one more piece. I need enough to do the back. And I kind of want this drawer to be strong. It's the big one. Come on. Come on. We'll just do the dabbies. Well, that works better than violently shaking it. Come on. Ugh, come on. That is it. We are bone dry. Almost made it. My fingers are way too big for that. Yeah, we'll just, you know, improvise, adapt, buy more glue tomorrow. Note to self. And this is why they didn't give me glue when I was in kindergarten. Teacher come by, be like, what the hell happened here? Oh, what the? Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm just out of staples. I don't even know what that is. Half a staple? What? Oh no. I ran out of glue and stapler broke. This is... We'll be right back. Ow. Well, I finished up with Brad since Mr. Staples quit before the job was done. He said, it's bare 30, I'm out of here. Can't get good help these days. So putting these in is, well, let's see if they fit for one. Oh yeah, kind of tight on the opening there. Ow! What am I catching on back here? Jeez. About time I quit too. It's freaking... Does it fit better this way? Looks better. Oh yeah. Does this one fit? Which side's less bowy? This one? Oh, this one fits good. Alright, so it's gonna be kind of difficult to get these in right because, well, unless I learn how to use a tape measure, I gotta figure out they gotta be a little bit up off the bottom, like right there. They need to be like square with the opening. And ooh, what if I get it like, because this one fits pretty tight. What if I get the front screws in at least? I did read the instructions. It said, put drawer portion of track on drawer, and then did I bring my drill? Yes. I used like 2-inch screws to put these tracks on the cabinet, but I'm gonna use the little dinkies that came with the tracks for the drawer side. And you know, someday I'll probably replace those, but today we are going to, can I just, come on, come out with it. It's moving all over the place. This is difficult. I might have to use tape measures and things and such, because, let's see, because I didn't mount my tracks flush to the front of the thing. I mounted them flush to the front of the structure below, so I need to figure out my, because I want them to shut perfectly flush. You're not going to see any of this. There's going to be a whole different, like a drawer face, but I want these to like be as flat with the cabinet as they can. So when I go to put that drawer face on, it will, anyway. Caveman installs drawer tracks. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna grab my tape measure, try to figure things out. I was hoping to get just one screw in each side, and then I can kind of work it from there, you know, but that's not gonna happen. So what I think I need to do is just measure crap and then take this portion off and then install it on the drawer, put it in, figure out it doesn't sit perfectly flat, take it out, make more holes, you know. There's a procedure. Well, about 1/2 inch, I suppose. Half inch, 1/2 inch. This is gonna be way off. We're gonna try it anyway. I guess I could use these holes. That gives me adjustment. Assuming I get the left and right ways good. And I did level the tracks, so in theory, I'll just measure 1/2 inch back here, and then these drawers ain't perfectly square at all. And I just took my grinder to them off camera just now. Let's just see what happens here. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll just work. Only putting 2 screws in for now, because yeah. All right. Will it... Sweet. It works. I know that looks terrible, but just, you know, pretend you don't see that and just, you know, admire the functionality. Yeah. All right, I'm putting more screws now. Well, I guess we'll repeat the process over here. Yeah, this one fits good. It's actually a little too loose. I made the width of the drawers as tight as I possibly could, but I could have added a 1/10 to that guy, I suppose. What are we hitting on? We're hitting on something. Something's wrong. Am I hitting the sink? No. Huh. The track was just wonky. Oh, it just had to go in. Little tight there still. Let's see if I can just adjust on that a little better. Oh yeah. All right. I have drawers. I will see you guys tomorrow.